our small group had just done a study on the Holy Spirit, and we were talking about his leading in our life, and the end of the study kind of left like, now what do you feel God is calling you to do? And at the time, we didn't have anything in mind. We hadn't talked about anything, and we didn't really know.
Well, we were talking with our small group. Always wanted to see what else we can do. And then I know the biggest thing for me was, well, I was listening to, I don't know if it was Caleb or you're supposed to pick a word for the year. And some reason missions kept coming up in my head. That's the only word I could think of is missions.
So then Pastor Gary came back and had shared with us about Randy and his ministry in Panama.
Randy and Donna Wheats were friends of ours from language school in Texas 20-some years ago. They have started 3 different churches, and along with some other missionaries, started the Christian school that we went to work with there. They started it with 1 grade and then added another grade each year, and they're up through 10th grade. So it's not been in existence very long, but the number of students in that school is between 600 and 700 right now, so it's grown phenomenally.
We went there to serve and to work for them, and we felt that could be just a huge boost to their ministry.
Because they got 600 kids they had nothing to play, no area to play. It was just a little area to run around in is all they had. So.
But the interesting thing that he told us about that is that playgrounds are scarce there. Like, we have playgrounds here in all of our parks. Sometimes parks have multiple playground sets in them. He said this is going to be such a huge addition for our ministry. He says for us to have a playground for kids to play on before and after school, he says you don't know what that'd be. We have 600 kids here in our school. And he says all that they usually do is play tag or kick a soccer ball around that one of them brings. They don't have anything to do.
And so Randy put us to work on building the playground equipment there. So that was the purpose of going, but underlying all of that is to benefit the ministry of the school. The school has a real impact. First of all, because it's a school, educationally, there's a real lack of good schools there in Panama. And as a result of that, there's been a huge desire for parents to get their kids in there. The kids that come in are not necessarily from a Christian background. In fact, the vast majority probably aren't. The teachers are Christians, the administration are Christians, missionaries or whatever.
I'm sure that they bring the gospel back to their families, because he said there's a lot of people that send their kids there that are not believers. So in turn, the kids probably brought the gospel to their mom and dads.
It comes in a variety of different ways. For instance, they have a music program, so kids will come in and they'll learn music. But then if they do concerts or they do outreaches with that, their parents come to see those things, and the message is clear. Through all different things that the students are involved in, it all has a focus in one way or another of honoring the Lord and sharing the gospel. So Randy has a tremendous heart for evangelism and outreach. In fact, the recent newsletter that we just received talks about his desire to think about another church plant out just past the airport there in Panama City. So,
I'm Ruth Alsom. My husband's name is Norm, and together the two of us went on the mission trip to Panama. We've always talked about doing some mission trips, wanting to go on a mission trip, and it just never really worked out for us. And when we saw it in the church bulletin, we said, this is it. We want to go. We want to do this. So we did.
This is my first mission trip, so it was wide opening. It was like, what should I expect? I didn't expect nothing out of it. I went into it with whatever God throws at me or what he needs, go with. So it wasn't a third world nation. It was very modernized because of the Panama Canal, probably.
Well, when he got there, they just etchings on a paper and said, it's up to you guys. Build it the way you guys want it.
It was hard because we had a concept of what we wanted to build, and we kind of had to adapt that to what they wanted to build, you know, and kind of mesh the two ideas together and design it. You know, just design it on the spot and make it fit and make everything work and make it strong enough and
start going, start cutting. because they had a pile of steel there. Ken kind of ran. He was like the foreman down there for us.
The plan is to stay hydrated, to not pass out, and try not to, go to a hospital around this part of the country.
Explain what we're building. Tell me what we're building here.
We're gonna build a playground right here. See where we got it staked out? And where Scott's digging, we're gonna build a massive playground.
My job was to weld. I spent pretty much the last 3 days nonstop underneath the helmet.
He had the hottest, hardest job. He just welded all day, every day, nonstop. Matt was just the welding maniac.
Weld and weld and weld. God gave me the strength because on a normal day around here, I've worked in that kind of heat. And I'm usually pretty much half dead by the end of the day, and down there, I never ran out of energy really down there, so.
I worked with the electrician, did a lot of electric work with him, and then we painted the next day, and then after that, then I became Norm's helper in the plumbing and smashing walls. And
He roughed in 2 sets of bathrooms. Well, I would probably be a men's room and a ladies' room. And he had help. He had Ryan Jinks helped him, and Rick Hargrave helped him. They had to backtrack because I think the floor was sort of in, so then they had to redig that out.
And we had to come in with a chisel hammer and chisel out the walls to put in the water lines, which basically looked like we were just wrecking their nicely finished walls. We had to cut and chisel up the concrete floor that was already finished to put drains in.
And then they re-cement over, over the pipes again. So it was a lot of digging and a lot of clawing around, but they did it. Carmen and I and Pastor Gary and Dennis painted classrooms at the school, and we painted 12 classrooms.
we worked hard. It was a working trip, so we worked very hard. Worked harder there than we do at home, probably.
We laughed a lot about ourselves because we thought by the end of the day, we looked pretty awful, and we with our raggy paint shirts. And I really think the Lord works in big ways, and the Lord works in small ways, and He uses a variety of things and a variety of people to bring the kingdom in. Well, Carmen is good in Spanish, and I hung with her a lot, so she witnesses wherever she can. She's a wonderful example of that. She'll start up a conversation with people, and then she'll just talk to them casually. You gave Ken Zick a guitar, and boy, there he was. He just joined in everywhere, singing, and it was good to see. I think it was heartwarming to the people there, too, because he was playing in church with the orchestra, and he was trying to get us to sing, learn our Spanish song.
Like all of Latin America, Panama has a large background in Catholicism, but it is very small as far as active Catholicism. Not many attend church. The growth of the evangelical church in Panama has been good over the last 20 years since Randy and Donna arrived, but there's still a great need for the gospel there in Panama and for education. So that school and Bible-believing churches really have a mission field all around them there. The trip really went beyond what I thought it would do.
I really felt like a sort of brotherly love, like the body of Christ working together. And here we are from Wisconsin going all the way to Panama, yet we're all part of the same body. And I felt like as we were able to work with the other Christians and believers there, even though like we struggle at speaking their language or whatever, it was a common bond from the beginning. That's unique, I think.
with Randy and Donna. Randy grew up on a farm in Minnesota, so he's not that far from any of us here in this area, you know, and felt God's call on his life there. And it was seeing him there for 20-some years and his faithfulness, and then seeing how quick people coming from Terrace Shores here and River Shores, how quickly they adapted and bonded to people there, just warmed my heart, because it made me realize God has his people in a variety of situations with a variety of gifts and uses them in neat ways.
Seeing the way that God works in people's lives, and even in your life, once you feel how he works in your life, it's a great experience.
I hope that we were an encouragement to the Panamanian Church. I'm pretty certain that it encouraged them a good bit to have us down there, not only doing the work with them, but then worshiping with them and sharing testimonies in the church service and just being with them. I know it really, really blessed my heart to see their hospitality and kindness.
They were so excited. I mean, they would come out and just watch us working, because they're like, here's this idea that we have, and now it's taking shape. And to see it be built, you know, so. And he said, you know, you have no idea what the kids are gonna flip out when school starts. When they see this, they are gonna go crazy.
In a lot of our society, it's me, and you work for yourself. And I went down there going, I want to give, and it's such a good feeling to give. Jesus was a servant at heart, so let's take that and run with that. And I think when you do that, you realize, wow, what a blessing. You gave all week, even through work or through whatever, and it's such a good feeling.
God is really needed everywhere. How will they know unless someone goes? It just made me think of the big picture of missions. God is not an American, you know. God is everywhere.
I would say it's the most touching thing you could ever do. I mean, you'll never regret it.
I struggle sometimes at the mission field going all over the world, because there's a mission field right outside this door that in our backyard. How many people need to know the word, the truth through Christ, and talk about a mission field? It's every day out there for you.
But not with swords, loud clashings, or roar of stirring drums. With deeds of love and mercy, the heavenly kingdom comes. And I think you think about all the war and the sword clashing in the world now, and how, but just deeds of love and mercy, that's what brings in the kingdom.
What do you think? It's gonna be good? We're having fun.
I know we've been talking, we'd like to go back already, so it's a great experience down there. I'm Matt Burke. ¿Cómo estás, I guess? How you doing? El baño, where's baño? You know.
Crazy on that. It's crazy on that shovel. Where's the shovel?
I never saw a shovel like this.
Hey,
Let
me help.
It's
a two-man shovel.
No, the shovel can't, like Scott said, shovel man's us.
In Panama, they do the shovels big.